Good Sunday morning, folks, and thanks for joining us on Inside the Valley. I hope you all are having a fantastic weekend. Well, joining us first this morning, we are talking about World Diabetes Day, and we are joined by Aurelia Herrera Erdem, and we have Ileana Guerra Martinez. Thank you both so much for coming in here today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So diabetes is such a huge and kind of important topic that we really do talk about and stress here in the Rio Grande Valley. It really does affect a lot of people here. So kind of tell me a little bit about the effects it does have on people here and how prominent it is kind of here in the valley.
Well, the latest CDC statistics from 2015 show that around the country there's about 30 million people that have diabetes. So that comes out to about out of every 10 people in the United States, but here in the valley, the figures are much higher. I think the latest statistics are like 1 in every 3 people have diabetes in the Rio Grande Valley. So it's definitely very concerning.
Most definitely, most definitely. And of course, it's something that you all do with the Rio Grande Valley Diabetes Association. You partner with them to kind of bring that education, bring that awareness, really get that conversation going, and to really go out and push that people get screened or people get treatment that they do need. And so I know coming up for World Diabetes Day, you will be holding a panel with experts to kind of discuss, and it's open to the public to kind of have that conversation with them.
Yeah, so World Diabetes Day is Wednesday, November the 14th this year, and every year it's held on November 14th. This year, the Rio Grande Valley Diabetes Association, we're a local nonprofit, and we try to help people that have diabetes in the Rio Grande Valley. And so we're having our event. It starts at 8 a.m., starting with the help of HEB. From 8 to 10, we're going to be doing free glucose screenings in 5 of the HEBs across the valley. In Edinburgh, in McAllen, in Rio Grande, in Mission, on Sherry, and the one in Palmview. So we encourage people, those that maybe don't know if they have diabetes, to go fasting and to get your blood sugar drawn. That way, if your number is somewhat concerning, you can talk to a provider to see if you do have diabetes. So definitely go out and get screened. And then we're gonna have our big event later in the evening, starting at 5:30 at the Mission Event Center that's off of Sherry. We are going to be having booths that will have diabetes information. We're going to have local area restaurants that are going to be having healthy options. For example, Brick Oven Pizza from HEB is going to be showcasing their cauliflower crusted pizza, which I'm very looking forward to tasting, which is a low carb option, right, for patients with diabetes. And along with other people. And then at 6, we're going to have a panel of experts. So internal medicine, cardiologist, dentist, podiatrist. I will be there just answering questions from the people in the audience or from anybody that has a question about diabetes.
Most definitely, and this is really great because a lot of the time people do have these questions, but they're afraid to ask, or they don't know where to go to ask, or they don't want it to seem like something that it's almost like a common sense question of, oh, you should know that. They're afraid to kind of ask those questions, which of course they're open to. You guys are all open to answer anything that they really need.
And you know, we've had people that ask questions in Spanish, so sometimes people are afraid. But most of our panelists do speak Spanish, so if we have to translate in Spanish, that's also an option. And there's really no bad question.
Of course.
If you do have a question, probably other people have the same question. So we encourage everyone to come out and join us, you know, just to bring more awareness about diabetes. And we're also, after the panel of experts, we're going to have a tribute to people that have maybe we've lost to diabetes. So we're going to have 2 dance companies here from the area just dance and just celebrate those loved ones that we've lost because of diabetes.
Of course, it's very touching, and it is important, of course, to kind of get that information. So folks, if you are watching right now and you definitely want to go and get more information, you should definitely make it a point to go out, get yourself screened, and then attend that event later that evening, because it will be very beneficial to you all, especially if you have any questions or you're concerned that you yourself may have diabetes, or a loved one, even if you want to go with them to offer support that they do, or they're not sure if they do have diabetes. So it's really, really great. And of course, the Rio Grande Valley Diabetes Association really pushes education and awareness, which is very important, of course, to kind of get that conversation going. And so is this the first time that you have done this kind of panel before?
No.
Okay.
We do it every year, and
Okay.
sometimes we do it 2 and 3 times a year.
Okay.
We usually have them at the Monitor. We've had them at the library. Usually we have 10 experts on different topics regarding your body, basically. And these people are able to answer your questions. They're very attuned to the need for diabetic education. And so they're great at helping people understand the concepts that they're trying to get them to understand.
Of course.
So it's really, it's a great presentation. It's free, and it lasts about an hour. And usually the people have ample opportunity to ask questions, and it's a very friendly atmosphere as a rule. So we enjoy doing it, actually.
No, that's
type thing, yeah.
fantastic. It's really great, and it's great because you'll be with people who know exactly what they're talking about, and they have those answers. And then
Right.
other people that may have the same concerns as you mentioned. You know, you have similar concerns, or you're going through the same thing. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a very comfortable place for people to kind of go and ask those questions. And so when you do have these different panels, what are some kind of the most frequently asked questions, or the most comments that you kind of get from the public?
We have questions like, what type of mouthwash should I use?
Okay.
And I learned myself
Uh-huh.
that there are mouthwashes for young people and mouthwashes for the elderly.
Really?
And that was something new for me, because I always just grabbed a bottle of mouthwash. I didn't
Of course,
think
right. I would have
that the
thought the
color
same.
meant
Yeah.
anything other than flavor.
Right.
Okay? But there's actually things like that.
Wow.
They always ask about foot care, which is a very big problem for diabetic people.
Of course.
A lot of them will bring their families, and we encourage them to bring their families, because unfortunately diabetes does not just impact the person with the diabetes, it impacts the whole family.
Of course, yeah.
And it's really something else, you know. And you know, she mentioned how high the prevalence of diabetes is in the valley, and you can look at any family and you will find a diabetic person in that family in the valley. And sadly, it has to do with our way of living and the food that we eat. And unfortunately, there's a lot of reasons why we eat what we eat today.
Of course,
you know?
right, most definitely.
Yeah, we've had a lot of things happen in the past which promoted, you know, that we not eat as well as we should, you know, that sort of thing. Other questions that they will ask about is skin conditions. Diabetics have a tendency to have a very dry skin, and so there's special creams for them that they can buy, which are not very expensive. They're cost effective. They'll ask a lot about eyes, because diabetes tends to cause a lot of eye problems. We have a renal specialist who comes, and usually he will talk about the effects on the kidney. Sadly, most diabetics who have kidney problems don't usually make it to our presentations because they're not feeling that well. But their families can learn about it and help them to cope. We also talk about resources. Where can you go to get help besides us? You know, there's other places, other things that we don't provide,
Right.
which of course they need.
Definitely.
And so we talk about some of those things.
Definitely. So folks, you heard that here. There's going to be a wide variety of experts there to answer any questions. This is going to be happening on November 14th. That is World Diabetes Day. Go and get yourself screened at various HEB's locations. If you have any questions, go ahead and give them a call, the RGVDA. The number is on your screen. Thank you, ladies, so much for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
All right, folks. Well, when we come back, we are talking about the Texas Butterfly Festival. We have all those details that you won't want to miss. Stay with us.